often have we asked, when will democracy come to this part of the world and what will it look like? Well, here we are in what looks like a massive tectonic shift. First Tunisia and now Egypt, the biggest, most populous Arab country and America's biggest ally. Here, for the 6th straight day, tens of thousands of people are out on the streets. The military is arrayed in tanks and on foot. The question, will the army fire if ordered to do so? Today, in the last 10 minutes, we have heard and seen fighter jets buzzing Tahrir Square, where the crowds are. In enormous, alarming, incredible sound, they have been flying low. But the protesters are still out there. They've been reacting, they're carrying slogans and chanting right now down below me, illegitimate. Despite the reforms that President Mubarak has done, shuffling the government, the people are saying that's not enough and that he must go. So far, what they're saying and what we're seeing, and you can hear the fighter jets behind me now, they are saying that this is secular, this is a popular uprising. We have seen no signs, no slogans, no clerics of any Islamic favor or flavor. And in the meantime, as we wait and watch and wonder how long the government here can hang on, the United States and other countries are urging their nationals to leave. The US wants all Americans out, and we understand is arranging special planes to bring them home starting tomorrow, Monday. We saw many, many people stranded at Cairo's airport when we landed last night.
It was nighttime, well after curfew, when we landed in Cairo. We found the airport full of stranded tourists desperate to leave the country and residents returning but afraid to venture into town until the curfew was lifted in the morning. We've got a small car, as you can see, all the baggage is being strapped to the roof of the car, and we're going to try and get to our hotel tonight. It's a long drive from the airport into Cairo, and at first it was eerily quiet. But every 100 yards or so, we were stopped. We're driving from the airport into town. It's practically deserted, very few cars, but there are bands of vigilantes, ad hoc neighborhood watch groups, young men and boys out with wooden batons, metal bars, even machetes. They are watching out for looters and any kind of crime spree because there is no security. They had gathered to protect their property, and while it was tense, they were also friendly and waved us through. So you've mobilized your own security?
Absolutely. There's no
Is there none?
There's nothing in Zamalek.
By morning, police are still nowhere to be seen, but the army is out in force, especially here around Tahrir or Liberation Square, and yet the people keep coming. In full view of the tanks of the army deployed, these people are shouting that the people want the regime's downfall. Mubarak's steps to try to pacify the protesters by reshuffling the government has simply stiffened their resolve. They say they want him gone.
All the people, Egyptian people, said, go out, go to the hell and your family!
And the tense standoff between the president and the people continues. It's been an extraordinary week in Cairo and across Egypt. Day after day, tens of thousands of Egyptians, young and old, demonstrating in dramatic defiance of President Hosni Mubarak, braving water cannon and rubber bullets, daring to believe the unthinkable, that this popular uprising might actually mean the end for a military strongman who has ruled his country with an iron fist for 3 decades. To the United States, Mubarak is a rare pillar of strength in the troubled Middle East, a staunch ally, and one of only 2 Arab leaders who've made peace with Israel. To his own people, however, Mubarak is an authoritarian whose repressive regime has imprisoned dissidents and engaged in widespread torture. This, alongside the grinding poverty and mass unemployment, is driving the protests. The past few days have been marked by sometimes violent clashes with police as protesters openly defied a government-imposed curfew. On Friday, restaurants and even Mubarak's party headquarters were set ablaze. Dozens have been killed and some of the bodies have been carried through the streets. Mubarak himself finally addressed the nation in the early hours of Saturday morning, announcing that he would dismiss the current government, but making it clear that he wasn't going anywhere.
and putting a new government in place that will achieve our new goals, one that protects the security and safety of all Egyptians. This is my responsibility.
President Obama, who had spoken to Mubarak for 30 minutes by phone, had this to say.
Violence will not address the grievances of the Egyptian people, and suppressing ideas never succeeds in making them go away.
The United States gives Mubarak's government more than $1 billion in aid every year.
They are throwing tear gas.
Now, tear gas canisters marked Made in America are raining down on protesters who are demanding freedom. Saturday, the protests continued, and now there was also widespread looting, including at the famed Cairo Museum, home to priceless antiquities.
They destroyed 2 mummies and they opened 1 case. What really scares me now is the building that located the east side of the Cairo Museum. This building is burning. If this building is destroyed, it will go above the Cairo Museum, and this will be a disaster.
The military has so far held its fire. Soldiers have been received warmly, and they're actually giving protesters rides through the city on their tanks. The army is a revered institution in Egypt, and the big question is whether they will stand by the embattled president, even if he orders them to fire into the crowds. Mubarak, meanwhile, appointed his first ever vice president, Omar Suleiman, the head of Egypt's intelligence service. Suleiman has long been one of Mubarak's most trusted advisors. He is the chief go-between with Israel, and he also has deep ties to the United States. But Egyptians in the streets tell us they don't see this as change. They tell us they won't stop until Mubarak and his whole circle are gone. What they want, they say, is the chance to freely elect their government for the first time in the history of this ancient land.